I've been playing Roblox for almost 10 years now. I made my first account in January 2015, and since then I've spent way too much time on this platform. But over the last few years, something's changed. I'm not having as much fun. It's harder to find good games, and I get bored faster. Roblox just doesn't feel the same. So I decided to go back to the era I remember loving the most. What I like to call the golden era of Roblox, 2015 to 2018. There were a ton of games I could have picked from, but I've chosen just 2 per year. The ones that I personally remember enjoying the most. Today, we're going to revisit each of them and see how they hold up. Starting with 2015. Let's find out if the magic is still there or if it's better left in the past. 2015. In 2015, Riple Minigames was really the first good developed game I remember playing. I spent way too many hours in this game, and half of them were just walking around the lobby waiting for the next round to start. This game was Roblox's version of Mario Party. Pretty much just facing other people in different minigames and trying to win. It was chaotic, colorful, and surprisingly addicting. If you weren't dodging a tsunami, you were probably getting tables thrown at you. With all that said, let's see how the game looks now. Today, Riple Minigames is pretty much frozen in time. The game hasn't been updated in years, and most servers are totally empty. It's sad to see something I spent so many hours on just rot. The games technically still work, but they're glitchy and the UI is outdated, and it just feels abandoned. But even so, revisiting was fun. It reminds me how simple Roblox games used to be, and how sometimes the simplicity was the best part. Flood Escape was the definition of panic. Each time I heard the music hit, I instantly became stressed. Playing with 5 random strangers who always refused to press buttons while having to escape rising water by parkouring through an obstacle course that would send you back to the lobby the second you hesitated. And if you survived the whole thing, you're basically a parkour master. This game even now is still kind of a banger. So let's see if it's still playable nowadays. So the idea is simple. Press buttons, climb walls, and try not to drown. Easy, unless you're depending on people who can't figure out how to jump. The rising water always felt way too aggressive, like it knew you personally and wanted revenge. And teamwork? Yeah, that word didn't mean much here. Half the lobby would abandon the rest and speedrun to the exit. Still, it was fun in a weird, stressful kind of way. Every round felt like a mini disaster movie. Coming back to it now, it's not as smooth as I remember. The game still works, which is kind of a miracle, but it's clearly aged. Compared to newer games, the animations are stiff, and the UI feels clunky. Most players have moved on to Flood Escape 2, but this one still has that raw challenge. The game genuinely holds up, even if it's rough around the edges. 2015 was a simpler time. Games didn't need much to be fun, but as Roblox grew, so did the complexity. Let's jump into 2016, a year where games started feeling more ambitious, and sometimes a little messier. Assassin came out in 2016, and was one of the first big knife fighting games on Roblox. The idea was simple, but addictive. You're given a target to eliminate, all while someone else is trying to eliminate you. It was fast, chaotic, and super fun with friends. And it helped shape the whole competitive 1v1 scene on Roblox back in the day. Assassin today just doesn't hit the same. The game hasn't had any major updates in ages, and the community feels like it's thinned out a lot. Even worse, the developers made a new version called Assassin X, and somehow it feels like a downgrade. It's clunkier, slower, and stripped of what made the original so special. It's a shame because OG Assassin had so much potential to grow with the platform. Instead, it feels like it got left behind. Playing it now is more of a nostalgia trip than anything else, like visiting an old childhood hangout that's been abandoned. Meep City launched in 2016 and was one of the first major social hangout games on Roblox. It took a lot of inspiration from Club Penguin and Toontown. Letting you decorate your house, adopt a Meep, play minigames, and just chill with other players. It was one of the first games to really feel like a virtual world on Roblox, and it blew up fast, eventually crossing over 1 billion visits. But these days, Meep City feels weird. The game is still alive, but it's changed a lot. It feels more like a chaotic roleplay server now, especially with no chat filter in parties, and most updates are cosmetic or focused on monetization. It's kind of wild it's still pulling in players, but at the same time, it doesn't really resemble the game I remember. It went from fun and creative to kind of empty and bloated. A big nostalgic name? Sure, but one I'm not really in a rush to return to. 2016 gave us some big hits and a lot of weird trends, but 2017? That was the year Roblox started feeling like a real gaming platform. Bigger maps, better graphics, and games that actually felt complete. Jailbreak took the Roblox world by storm in 2017. It was a revolutionary take on the cops and robbers genre, with massive open maps, vehicles, and a high-stakes escape that kept everyone on edge. The game quickly became one of the most popular on Roblox, with constant updates, community involvement, and a ton of customization. For a while, it was the go-to game for anyone looking for a solid multiplayer experience. Fast forward to today, and Jailbreak still draws a crowd, but it's definitely not the same beast. The core mechanics remain, but the game has become overloaded with endless vehicles, constant microtransactions, and complex updates that sometimes feel like they're more focused on monetization than pure fun. What was once a straightforward, adrenaline-packed open-world adventure now sometimes feels like a chore. Like you need to master countless extras just to enjoy a simple bank heist. Sure, the nostalgia for those early Jailbreak days is still there, but it's tempered by a sense that the magic of simplicity has been lost in the mix. Now let's talk about Pokémon Brick Bronze, or rather, let's talk about Loomian Legacy. Pokémon Brick Bronze was one of the best fan-made Pokémon games on Roblox, until it got hit with a copyright strike from Nintendo. It got deleted and everyone was left wondering what could possibly replace it. Enter Loomian Legacy, made by the same team with a very similar premise, capturing creatures and battling trainers in an expansive world. It promised a fresh start while paying homage to what made Brick Bronze so iconic for so many players. Loomian Legacy is still alive and well, but is it as exciting as Pokémon Brick Bronze? Honestly, it's tough to say. The game's world is beautiful and the creatures are creative, but the pacing feels a bit slower compared to the old Pokémon games we love. It's like the developers are trying really hard to avoid copyright issues, but in doing so, they lost a little of the charm that made Pokémon Brick Bronze so great. Still, the game has a solid fan base, and I won't lie, I've spent some time trying to get those gleaming Loomians myself. It's definitely not Pokémon, but if you're looking for something close, it'll scratch that itch. Just don't expect the same thrill you got with the original. Now we're stepping into 2018, and if you were on Roblox back then, you definitely remember one thing: simulators. So many simulators. Bubblegum, bees, burgers, pet sim. If you could click it, inflate it, or farm it, someone made a game out of it. Let's take a look at the two simulator giants that stood out the most to me, starting with Bee Swarm Simulator. Bee Swarm Simulator launched in 2018 and instantly became one of Roblox's biggest grindfests. In a good way. You hatch bees, farm pollen, complete quests, and slowly build your hive. It stood out for its depth, constant updates, and surprisingly complex gameplay. For a simulator, it was really addicting, and the community was obsessed. Coming back to Bee Swarm Simulator today, it's clear this game never stopped growing. There are so many new bees, quests, and features that it's a bit overwhelming, especially if you haven't played in a while. But honestly, it's kind of impressive. The developer is still updating the game regularly, and there's a massive community still playing the game. The gameplay loop is just as satisfying. Farm pollen, defeat bugs, unlock new gear. It still works. That said, it's definitely gone more intense. What used to be a relaxing grind now feels more like a full-time job if you want to keep up. Still, the charm is there, just not quite as laid back as it used to be. Bubblegum Simulator came out in 2018 and was part of that era where every game had a click to get bigger mechanic. But this one stood out with its cute visuals, flying to different islands, and of course, hatching pets. It was simple, satisfying, and just grindy enough to keep players hooked. Bubblegum Simulator Infinity honestly surprised me, in a good way. It keeps the core charm of the original, but updates everything with a slicker look, smoother gameplay, and just a lot more to do. From the moment you start, it feels super satisfying. The bubble blowing, the collecting, the pet hatching, it's all way more fast paced, but not in an overwhelmingly way. It's clear that devs wanted to take what people loved about the first game and build on it without overcomplicating things. And they nailed it. It's still that cozy, rewarding grind, just with better polish. For me, this is one of those rare cases where a reboot actually lives up to the original, maybe even improves on it. So after revisiting all these games, did I get that nostalgic feeling back? Kinda. Some of them held up, some didn't. But the biggest difference isn't just the games, it's Roblox itself. Back then, it felt like the platform was made for the players. Now, it feels like it's made for the investors. Everything's about monetization, cosmetics, and corporate polish. And yeah, maybe I've just grown up, but there was a magic in those older games. A weird, janky charm you don't see as much anymore. Still, I'm glad I went back. Even if the games don't hit the same. The memories still do. That's it for now. But trust me, we're just getting started. See you in the next one.